Hello and welcome to Tuesday, February 18th. Today we're going to talk about the data view. The data view allows you to create different views of data that's stored in a data table. So this is especially useful whenever you're doing any data binding within your applications. It allows you to not only sort the information in a data table, but also filter it, which is something we're going to demonstrate right now. And then also maybe even filter it by the state of the rows, whether that row has been updated or deleted as dictated by the datagram. So what I've started with here is a very simple application that uses the Northwind database. I use SQL Server, but you could use either Access or SQL Server with Northwind to do this. So I'll just run it real quick and show you what it does. Right now it's just a simple data grid that binds to the Northwind database. You can see you have all of the um, customers from the customer table here. And also I've data bound a drop-down list box, but the two are not related. Right now if I select Finland, nothing really happens. Where the desired effect might be that we filter out all countries except for Finland. So to make that happen, I'm going to add a data grid to my data view to my example. Excuse me. So let's stop that application and then go to our toolbox, go to our data subgrid here and select data view and drag and drop it onto our designer surface. We'll rename this to DV countries, and I'll want to change this to DV countries. And now we'll want to set some values in here. For example, the table, there's a little drop down here, and we'll select DS Northwind customers. Okay. The next thing that I do, I also want to make sure that now my drop-down list box will have auto postback equal to true. Make sure that you have that set for this example to work. The next thing we're going to do is not use as our data source the actual data set, but instead we're going to use the new data view that we've added here, and we'll use the property builder to reset the values here so that we've made the data view our actual data source instead of the data set. So finally, I think if we set all the properties correctly, what we want to do is double click on our drop down list box, and so we have when the selected index changes. Let's go ahead and first of all we want to grab off what the actual selected index from the drop down list, because when we data bind a second time it's going to erase the currently selected item. So we want to grab that off so that we can set it again. Equal to drop down list one dot selected index. Okay, the next thing that we want to do is actually use our new data view countries dot row filter, and this is where we're going to set a filter expression. And so what we'll use is the convention, the actual name of the column, and then what it's equal to. So in this case it's going to be country, and we could hard code it to like USA, for example, and that would work. However, what we want to do is actually have the drop down list box value be the one that sets it. So let's go ahead and do drop down list one dot selected item dot value. So we have, let's pull this up here, our data view countries dot row filter equal country equal to, and then whatever the value of the drop down list box is. Then we're going to want to redata bind everything on the page, and then like I mentioned in the very first step, we want to do selected index equals selected index. Actually, I see now that I misnamed that select index. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this, and then let's test out what we've done. And so now that it comes up, let's go ahead and pick, for example, USA, and notice that we filtered out just those countries that are USA. Let's pick, for example, Spain, and we have just the records that match country equals Spain. I tell you what, let's go ahead and do one more thing with the data view, and I'll show you how to do a sort as well. In this case, we will sort by the region and then the city name in descending order. So we just do it very similar to how we would do it in a SQL statement. Region, comma, city, DESC. That kind of pops over to the right-hand side, but it's region, comma, city, DSC. Now let's go ahead and run it. Okay, so let's go ahead and pick USA again. And notice that, first of all, the region, AK, CA, ID, and then within, for example, Oregon, we see that the city names are in descending order, with P being first and E being next, Portland, then Eugene, because it's descending. By default, as you can see here, when we set the region as the first column to sort, it's sorted in ascending order. So if you're using a lot of data binding and you want to add some functionality like this where you can filter, very convenient tool, and it's also convenient whenever you're dealing with data sets where you've made changes or where you've deleted actual rows or inserted rows, because then you can get a list of those new rows that have been updated or deleted using the data view. So there's a lot of good uses for this, and we've only really cracked the tip of the iceberg. So the source code for this tip will be available to Gold members. Becoming a Gold member means that you get access to every video that we've ever created on this site, which amounts to over 40 hours, plus the source code for most of the videos. So I hope this tip was helpful. Come back tomorrow for another .NET video tip, and I wish you an exception-free day.